Yeah. One West. I'm sorry, me need a break, I'm sorry. We work hard in a life, hustle every day and all in a night. Man a hunt for the goal and a dig it in a road and a live no life. I'm sorry, me need a break, I'm sorry. Right now me a seek time for myself and me a shell down some party. Me stress, me a look for a recess. For me brain me a refresh. This a game me a reset. Move to the girl in a the beach dress. The body a roll she a the neatest. She nah no man, nah that a the weakness. So me the in her ears but not like a real pest. Nah, just a move with a vibe. Because we a poor, the mood is alive. If you do 9 to 5 I know you a get rich, you do realize. I'm sorry, me need a break, I'm sorry. Right now we a poor, kulu rump and NC with Campari. That is it. Move to that girl, let the body tick. What is it? You know see me attack loud the politics. Watch it twist. No one see no ratchet flick, no matic click. No negative energy, a positive. One West I keep the peace and no magic trick. We a dance till in icon. We a groove, we a vibe. And no care, no fear right off. Make it on with your life. Me say, me no want see you leave yet. Me no want see you depressed. We a party for de-stress. We work hard in a life. Hustle every day and all in a night. Man a hunt for the goal and I mash up the road and not live no life. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Me stress. Me a look for a recess. For me brain me a refresh. This a game me a reset. Move to the girl in a the beach dress. The body a roll she a the neatest. She nah no man so that a the weakness. So me the in a it that a no real test. Nah. All right, Shalom Israel. Welcome again to another ISUPK Sunday scripture breakdown class. My name is Priest and Officer 500 Kayad 1 out of ISUPK Jamaica. I just see Officer WW3 one in the dashboard. You know what I mean? It seemed like, yeah, see me back. So like, yes, sir, if you want to take, like, you might as well just take charge of the class, you know, because I hear a class. What do you think?
Yeah, the scripture then.
Say that again?
You have the scripture.
Slakia, say that again.
You have the scriptures.
Yeah, but feel free to take over the class when you're ready. See? We're here with Officer of 1,000 WW3 one. You know what I mean? Officer of 50 Araya Allah. So today's class topic is we basically are touch upon World War III. You know what I mean? And we are touch upon the fact that the pressures that reach Caribbean islands them already. See, so for those who think that this thing now gonna affect Jamaica, well, you know what I mean, we have to go guess again. See? Because one of our closest neighbors, which is Cuba, is almost as if them directly involved. And the last time he checked, Donald Trump I say after Iran, them next. You understand? And how far is Jamaica away from Cuba? Jamaica is so close to Cuba that now we have to end some arrangement that we had for over 50 years with Cuba because of the pressure. You understand? So we have a touch upon that. Everybody watching on TikTok, remember to tap up the screen, like, share, follow, subscribe. YouTube and Facebook, like, share, subscribe. All right? All right. Feel free to chime in anytime you want, sir.
Go on, man, go on.
All right.
It's not a surprise that Cuba it reached to this still. Why Cuban president now?
I don't know him name, let me Google it.
I mean, from the moment, I mean, if you were reading between the lines, from the moment when Donald Trump, the administration changed the Secretary of State to the Secretary of War, basically, you know what they're up to. And if you listen to the speech he made at Davos at the World Forum, then he'll give you an idea what he's up to. They're on a war path. And the thing is, with a debt burden of almost $38 trillion, even if you want to put it at $30 trillion, the reality is it is unsustainable. So if we bring down such a debt, the only thing you can do is make war. In other words, and that is just to put it, put a little, and you can't even say decency. But in other words, what they have to do now is go in the world and take what people have in order to bring that debt burden down. You see, they do that with Venezuela. They're doing that with Iran now. I mean, what they're going to get in Cuba? Cuba must have some rare earth there, but we don't know about, but them know about. So, one thing for sure, Jamaica have some rare earth. So, our government is a clothespin already, So once them squeeze them, them legs go and open. And the mothers come in and take out what them want. Then Jamaica not going to resist, not under this government.
Gone. All right.
It days to come to Jamaica.
Gone. All right. So we have a JIS news article we're going to read right now. And I mean, of course, this is being debated over the media. You know what I mean? Some people are saying Jamaica sell out Cuba. Some people are saying them never have a choice. But the fact of the matter is this. See? We know who our leaders really serve. This proves that our leaders, them don't really have the say-so when it comes to, governing any of the countries that, the children of Israel live, especially here in Jamaica. If America say jump, our government have to say, oh, I. You understand? I read this article. This says, Jamaica Cuba Medical Corporation includes following unresolved terms. This said, Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, Senator the Honorable Kamina Johnson Smith has emphasized that the decision to discontinue the arrangement for deploying Cuban medical professionals in Jamaica public health sector stems from the inability of both governments to reach agreements on new terms and conditions under a revised technical cooperation framework. So basically what she has said is it's because them can't come to, come to a new agreement for renew the contract. See, continue reading. The previous agreement with the Cuban government came to an end in February 2023. While responding to the questions during the Standing Finance Committee meeting of the House of Representatives at Garden House on Thursday, that on March 5th, the minister acknowledged that concerns about the program had been raised by the United States. You know what I mean? So the United States raised concern about this agreement that we have with Cuba. And the fact that she have to bring up that means this is, you know what I mean? This is a factor when it comes to them ending the agreement. It continued, but assured that these did not ultimately influence the decision to end it. You know what I mean? So like, yes, sir. What do you think about that?
Well, obviously they were negotiating with the Cuban government, and they would have gotten a feedback as to where the government in Cuba stands, whether they are going to subject themselves to the U.S. demands or if they're going to resist. It's just like, all right, you remember when Syria fell, and people were saying to Russia, like, you know, if your friend is, what happened? And what did the Russian government say? They didn't call on us. So in other words, they decided to fall, sorry. They didn't call on us. Same thing with Venezuela never sent out a SOS either. Obviously, they decided to work with the U.S. government and betray Maduro and the Cubans that were there guarding him. So I don't know if I can show it fully on the Jamaican government to say why, you know, you back out, leave them. Let us see what the Cuban government will be doing, because I have a feeling that, because that alone, with our deal with them, that alone couldn't save the Cuban economy. They're not getting any oil. That is more deadlier than having a medical deal with Jamaica. I have a feeling them going to subject themselves to the demands of America. So our government now, maybe they're going to look at another way, because I don't think we can do without them nurses and doctors. You know? So I think maybe what's going to happen now is that rather than we take on nurses and doctors in collaboration with the Cuban government, we might just employ them straight. You know, just like how you would leave here and go to America and look your own job without the Jamaican government have a say in what you do. I have a feeling it's something like that going to happen, where the doctor and the nurse is going to come out here and work. Like, you know, they are employed by our government. Maybe our government can find a way under the table to give them money. Because really and truly they need money. But if them subject themselves to whatever demands America make, maybe the economy might make a turnaround in that they can now get oil. Not that they're going to get it at any special price. But, you know, they will all, it's more than that. Only more than that. All the businesses that the Castro regime took away from the Americans that were in Cuba, you're probably going to hear them say that all them businesses are going to return. But, I mean, after so many years, what is left in those businesses? I understand the oil refinery that is there was controlled by the Americans. So maybe that oil refinery now going back to the Americans. Because the other day, didn't our Prime Minister make a speech like, you know, we're going to stand up with the Cubans? Didn't he make such a speech?
Yeah, one can. He never make a speech as if You know what I mean? Cuban situation affect the whole Caribbean, so it's only
Right.
like defend Cuba.
Right. But if Cuba don't really want, if they don't really want your defense in the sense that, you know, whatever was so about, then, you know, you can't make that, it don't make any sense in you making that stand.
Well,
But
Cuba make a statement, you know.
what I'm saying?
We have another article, a Gleaner article, where say Cuba says Jamaica yielded to pressure to withdraw all medical workers.
Them say we yield.
Yeah, can.
Oh, well, I don't know. The thing is, there's more that is not meeting our eyes. First of all, the JLP government has never been a friend of the, and has never been friends of the Cuban government. It's only like this administration since Andrew coming forward. This is Andrew what? Third term now?
Yeah.
It's only since him coming power you see little leniency towards Cuba. So it wouldn't be a surprise if they believe that, you know, Jamaica threw them under the bus.
God.
But I don't think that alone, we alone withdrawing could really throw them under the bus still. I don't think they're getting that much money from Jamaica we can run them on. You're talking about some 11, 12 million people over there, you know, as compared to Jamaica with little less than 3 million people. But if them feel that way, I wouldn't be surprised because, I mean, our government here normally yield to the Republican Party anyway. They are more closely aligned to the Republican Party then. You know, that is how the politics set up within the Caribbean, probably the world. America have two major parties. Both parties are linked in every country with a party. So you find that, you know, the JLP is more linked to the Republican Party. What do I call that? A leftist believer or right? I don't know. Whether I left or right. The PNP more linked, more closer aligned to the Democrat. You know, but regardless of who in power, you're not going to notice so easily. But it's basically because, especially since the Cold War period end, you know, anybody basically link or appear to link with anybody, but it's not surprising because obviously the JLP is still linked with the Republican and to give them their demands. Oh, we are just 90 miles away from Cuba. If Cuba collapses now, how are you going to stop them from flowing into Jamaica?
Gone.
And that was the strategy which the other party had taken over the years. Keep them afloat. If they should collapse, you're going to have an immigration problem.
Gone.
So unless they are ending that and maybe there is something else coming on the table, let's hope that is the case. Because they are our brothers, they are our Israelite brothers. Two, they are our closest neighbor. And three, Jamaica cannot deal with an immigration problem on the borders right now. Can't deal with that. So we just hope that, you know, that is being ended, but something better would come about. I have a feeling that the way they are going to go is what I said earlier. You know, they are going to deal directly with the Cuban workers rather than the Cuban government. Probably that is what is going on. Every country in the world, I didn't know that is so much country in the world depends on Cuban doctors.
God.
Even Canada. even them in America, in Florida, they depend on the Cuban doctors. They make it seem as if that's not the case. But it seems a lot of the Americans there, a lot of them is not doctor. There was a time when there was doctor shortage in America, and Castro trained 300 doctors from America for free and send them go give them there in America. No strings attached. While they were under the American embargo, the US embargo, they did that. So, we're dealing with a beast who, you ever come across somebody who never forget what you do them? That is the beast. The Iranians were the one, this Iranian regime is what was the ones who run them out of Iran in the 70s. They haven't forgot that. Castro run them out of Cuba. They don't forget that. So you're dealing with a man who is like a crybaby. I know. All right, we can jump right into some scriptures. Which one you have queue up there?
We have Proverbs 6 and 19.
You have anything from Isaiah or Jeremiah?
Sir, you can pull them down when you're ready. You can just, queue them up.
Can't queue up a thing.
Meaning just tell with the scripture them so we can find them and put them up.
Usually me have my system to find it, and system gone.
No, just tell with the scripture them. All right, for the meanwhile, we have Proverbs 6 and 19, we say a false witness that speak lie. When we jump back to a couple of verses up. See? This says 16. So Proverbs 6 and 16. These 6 things does the Lord hate. Yea, even 7 are an abomination unto him. A proud look, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood. Salakia, alright, Alam, they are doing your job for you, Salakia about that. You know what I mean? Salakia here. With their Proverbs 6, and we'll start at 16. Salakia about that.
God, man.
Yeah, man. Salakia.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 6, verse 16. These 6 things doth the Lord hate. Yea, 7 are an abomination unto him. A proud look, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood.
God, all of that describe the white man, You know what I mean? In America.
That's right.
Go ahead. Verse 18.
God on God. And heart that deviseth wicked imaginations. Feet that be swift in running to mischief.
White man that again. All of the characteristics of the oppressor. Always swift. You know what I mean? To commit mischief. You know what I mean? Go ahead, continue.
God on God. A false witness that speaketh lies, and he that soweth discord amongst brethren.
All right, so this said, these 6 things does the Lord hate. Yes, the 7th is an abomination, and the 7th is he that soweth discord amongst brethren, and that we are see right now with the oppressor. He must sow discord between the tribe of Naphtali and the tribe of Benjamin. You know what I mean? The Cubans and Jamaica, we have an agreement for so long, 50 years, half a century. We have this agreement, but here comes our oppressor. You know what I mean? A sow discards, a force Jamaica now for cut ties. You know what I mean? With our Cuban brothers. You know what I mean? The Most I said that is an abomination. You understand? And this is what the oppressor has done. you know what I mean, to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians throughout our, you know what I mean, existence over here. That separates us. You know what I mean? When the most I want to come together and work together. But the oppressor, he always find some way for sow discord and disagreement between us. And this is one of them. You understand? This is one of them. Slakia, chime in when you're ready, sir.
Why, you know, this situation here with the Jamaican, you know, it kind of look away because, I mean, bigger country than us have been brought to is being brought to their knees as we speak by the same beings here. Remember Spain and England, and I think Germany did say, them now go join that, what them are going with in America, in Iran. And the three of them both.
Gone.
One way or another, they end up down there. So, really and truly, the world is, the chess pieces are being placed on the board now for World War III.
Right.
That is what is really happening. Chess pieces coming and play. You can watch this war with Iran now. You can see the alignments. In the end, you might have one or two switch, but you can see the major alignment. England, actually all of Europe, behind America, are the the 7 major heads in Europe, and this will be on the side with America. You can see that. I mean, you know where Russia and China standing. Jamaica is one now which we don't have nothing to add to this war. But we still have to be an American supporter. Because what? When Andrew made this speech the other day, you know, we have to support Cuba and all that. Some American congressman jump up and say Jamaica go and pay for that. Didn't that happen?
Can me have that article pull up right or so too.
All right, but we hear it then.
Can this the U.S. congressman says Jamaica to face consequences after Prime Minister's Cuba statement.
Exactly. You finished?
That was just the headline, but you can go on, sir.
I say exactly. So I mean, they threaten them, but the other day when I see an article where PJ met with Bruce Golding and PJ, remember tell me say that was big on the agenda when they tried to meet up, you know, the Cuban crisis right away. And what he should do and what he can do. He can help Cuba under the table, you know. That was what the other administrations did. They help Cuba. They can't do it up front, but, you know, they find some ways. You know, that was what, you remember the light bulb scandal?
Yeah, can.
That was what it was about, you know. Until this day, it's not official, but the JLP know that now. After they went over there and talked to them and the Cuban, they say, hey, we don't know, you know, every time we set up a thing, we're going to mash it up.
Yeah.
And them say, well, never know that I go on. So, you know, it's up to them still. And why I say up to them is that it all depends on how much pressure you can take. What past administration take criticism and squeeze, because for the whole time when PJ was in power, they call it gentle squeeze. There's been a gentle squeeze on the economy. I mean, they're pressuring with the Cuba thing, to and they're also pressuring him with the gay rights. until now, you look in most of the institutions across Jamaica. I pay effeminate men. You see a bag of effeminate men in these institutions. This is US pressure, and this was pressure from the demo under it heightened under the when name the president here before Trump.
Obama.
No man, the one before Trump.
Biden.
It heightened under Biden. It kind of slack up, it kind of ease up now. But the damage already done. You have at least a quarter, probably half, of the young men now being employed. If you don't look like that, it's like they're not employed. So we're going to end up, our black men in Jamaica, if this continues, we're going to end up like Atlanta. Because the black men in Atlanta is the same thing. They have to appear effeminate just to put food on the table.
Gone.
You understand? You can imagine you in a situation, you know, you want to succeed in life. In order to succeed, you have to succeed.
God.
That is a terrible situation for the man that is not in the truth.
Right.
Right? So, you know, with the Cuban crisis, it's fresh on the table now because, you know, you realize that America is really on a war path. So we are yet to see how it plays out, you know. I'll watch it still. All right, finish with the article. That's all.
Gone. It says United States Congressman Carlos Jimenez blasted Prime Minister Andrew Holness via X on Wednesday following Holness' comments sharing solidarity with Cuba as the Caribbean country deals with the effects of an oil blockage engineered by the US. Addressing Holness in his capacity as the leader of the ruling Jamaican Labour Party, Jimenez said, "I harshly condemn this and find it lamentable that the JLP would cover up for the moribund dictatorship in Cuba when the Castro regime repeatedly intervened in Jamaica's politics to exacerbate partisan tension and undermine the JLP." And notice him keep on and mention the JLP.
Well, let me tell you, it's a party link. All this thing is really a party link. So they know because they were say in Washington when the JLP wasn't in power when the matter about that undermining, you know, it was the PNP that was in power in the 70s coming up to the 80s. And I say, oh, Cuba undermined it. Cuba didn't undermine them. They brought the CIA out here.
Gone.
So if Cuba didn't come to our rescue at that time, you know, you'd have a whole lot more dead Jamaicans, you know. And you know what the worst thing? It would have looked like black on black crime. Black on black crime.
Right.
Yeah. That's how it is look. And then what would happen now? They other people them in Jamaica now who have the business and so they will be the ones smiling all the way to the bank. As a matter of fact, they are the ones still smiling all the way to the bank right now. While our men just die in the streets. And the worst part of it now is that our police force and our military men, they buy into the narrative too, because they kill with impunity, there is no bridle on them. Or I don't even know what the death toll gone now. The state killing out the young men. So you teach them certain things. And then when they want to correct it now, what you do? You kill them out. So if things should change now, what should the people do to those that were in power and those who were behind the whole thing that lead the country to where it is now?
Right.
What should they do to them? You know, then somebody in the army go and rise up, you know. Somebody go and get sensible in there. Because really and truly, you see anybody, I say after, even though we in the truth know that after World War III, Christ will be in power. But
Right.
let's say we don't know how long it's going to take till this final till we go up to that battle. What is happening now, you know, you could have a situation where it pull back. Just like, you can remember, it started from last year and then they cool off. So we don't know if they're going to cool off and how long it's going to take to cool off and so on and so forth. So we can't really look at it and say, you know, this is it. But at the same time, countries are lining up. You can see which side Jamaica going on still. When that man make this speech about, it's like he touched him to his core. Can't believe so JLP them, you know, giant as going solidarity with Cuba after Cuba do this and Cuba do that.
Yeah.
But tell me something. Didn't Germany bomb all the hell out of Europe under Hitler?
Yeah, can.
Are they all of them in line with Germany right now? So what if the JLP and the Cubans can now make peace? That's what should happen. But realize that them don't want to see other people make peace, you know, it's only them to make it.
Yeah.
And then you should have a situation where we in the Caribbean here make peace with each other.
Right.
And even if Cuba undermine them, Cuba never kill any of them. And Cuba never tried to change the head of the JLP. And when they're in power, I'm talking about regime change and all them things. But because you see, we have an economy which is smaller than one of their, than anyone, probably anyone after them billionaires. So they can always talk and our politicians listen and fall in line. But the reality is our people need to realize the cruel beast that they are serving.
Right.
And the Bible don't tell you how to deal with him. Turn to Christ. And don't turn to Christ and be a hypocrite against your people while you are in that church. You ever realize that the most hypocrites that you ever come across in the world are really Christians?
Can.
Donald Trump a Christian.
Can.
Donald Trump is Christian. And none of them in the house there is Christian. And at the same time, they were negotiating with Iran, talk about making a deal. Iran get the impression and say, yes, we and them come to, and we have a nice framework to work with. And before you know it, bombs start dropping on Iran. You want a bigger hypocrite than that?
Can. And I second time too.
Second time.
Can.
So till Iran reaches stage and say, there's no more negotiation.
Right.
Can't even blame it. All right. How far you reach with that?
We'll finish with the Proverbs. If you feel free to pull.
The one that you were reading, how far you reach?
You have the article?
Yeah.
Not too far. It's a long article, you know. It's a good.
All right. Give me two more paragraphs. Officer Arayala, queue up thing there in the meantime. Jeremiah chapter 50. Excuse me, I'm gonna get my charger.
Can. It continues. He ended his post saying, Jamaica will face the consequences. The Cuban-born congressman who migrated to the United States as a child was responding to a post where Holness and earlier that day shared a clip of himself speaking at the 50th regular meeting of the Conference of CARICOM Heads of Government and called for the Caribbean community to speak plainly about what is happening to Cuba. Today, many Cubans are facing serious economic hardship, energy shortage, and growing humanitarian challenges. We are sensitive to their struggles, but we must also recognize that a prolonged crisis in Cuba will not remain there. Holness shared in the caption. You know what I mean? So Andrew Holness make a brave statement, a statement we wouldn't normally make. You understand? Him is not known for speaking out against things affecting, you know what I mean, the Caribbean people when it comes to America and so forth. And it's a brave statement, but nonetheless a statement where you can't ever really find nothing where he must say nothing drastic. And here comes this congressman, you know what I mean, swiftly.
Yeah, that is the thing.
So,
Come make me wonder what in that statement could really
warrant that.
Yeah. Because and what he said, read back the last part there, because that makes sense. When I'm saying a crisis in Cuba will not stay there. Read back that part.
But we must also recognize that a prolonged crisis in Cuba will not remain there. Holness shared in the caption.
So isn't that common sense?
Yeah, common sense that.
Meaning, if they have a crisis and the people then can't find food and something, they are going to take onto somewhere else.
Right.
That is what he is saying, and that is common sense. But Congress, the congressman there in America, I'm not ruled by common sense. I don't even know who it is. If in black or in white or what.
It is like migrant from Cuba, from a child.
Here.
Just like Rubio.
Here. So basically, if Castro was still alive and then do something like this, what Castro would do? Just start getting them speedboats to run to Florida. And it's already. But it not like it's going up back this time. Because this government look like it's going to give them what they want. But really and truly what they want is to regain the things that they took away while the Castro regime come into power.
God.
They took away everything, Which a Rubio family lose some things too, which means then they're not authentic Manassites.
Probably some Edomites who used to live in Cuba.
Yeah.
And this Jimenez, him kind of look like a devil too.
They mix up. They might mix up with some of the Manassites, yes, but they are not genuine Manassites.
I think so. No. Probably Spaniard, See Jimenez, yeah.
Right. I see good look on my phone.
Okay.
Phone now here, good on the
See if we can enlarge me.
Look, that look dark in him, don't?
Yeah, I have a little tan to him, but I mean, I don't know. To me, he look like the devil has stand out in him. See him there? I don't know if you can see him.
A devil.
Yeah, he look like a devil to me.
Straight up devil.
In behavior is that of a devil.
Hey, imagine somebody, some country come in Jamaica now and run we out. And we go seek refuge somewhere else. And then in that country now, we become politicians, and we become big business people, probably millionaires. What the hell would anybody try come fight back at Jamaica here for? Maybe we thank them people and say, thank you for running us out, because now we're richer than when we were back in Jamaica. So them in America, they are now politicians and things. And they still want to fight against things there.
So lucky, but at the mindset of a devil that, because watch I know,
thank you.
Success in America, but them still feel the need to come back and take over them homeland. You check Jamaican diaspora, you know, the ones them where are black people, you know. Them more would want to come and contribute, like, you know what I mean? Something for Jamaica.
Yeah.
Nah, see, right. But a devil, you see a devil, him want to come destabilize him country to gain power, because now I guess him feel like him earn the right to rule over the island where him come from. You know, success in America not sufficient for him. He want to come take over. You know what I mean? Where him come from? You know what I mean? A Marco Rubio and them man, them that.
And when Rubio was speaking, he not even coming like it wasn't a big thing against Trump if you don't go that way. Like Trump, surprised, them same one who come from there. You know, Trump is German descendant.
God.
So, how him not fight against Germany or something? From few seats. Nah, do that. Germany have the biggest economy now in thing there. And Cuba, the Cuban economy would have been much bigger, you know, if they didn't have such sustained embargo on them.
Yeah, can. Cuba would have probably be the capital of the Caribbean, like how them like to claim Jamaica is. Cuba would have been the most, you know what I mean, get the most tourist visit. They would have been the most technological advance. We don't have nothing pertaining to technology here in Jamaica. Everything we do, we get from either America, China, and then Cuba seem like them innovative, and them have that drive there. You know what I mean? From Castro them and they were used to push that energy there. We in Jamaica, submissive slaves. You understand? So if the embargo never upon Cuba would have flourish. You know what I mean? Cuba would have probably be an Israelites too, so they would have probably be a dominant force. You know what I mean? If and
the thing will make them flourish is the revolution where Castro lead.
Yeah.
Because before Castro, you know, me hear some of the story them. Yeah, you have big man with nothing, you have clothes. And piece of pants, no shirt.
Okay.
And barefoot.
Yeah,
that's all. Same thing with Venezuela before the Maduro and revolution. So the little wealth that the country would have was not being equally distributed.
Okay.
And one thing you have to know, you have to understand, the oppressor is not into this business of equal distribution of wealth. That's not them. No, not even in Europe. Everything says some poor white people out there make a sad mistake.
God.
Yeah. But a lot of them don't believe in that. But you know who believe in that? Christ. The God that we serve believe in that. Coming out of Egypt in Moses' time, he distributed land to everybody, all the families coming out. they got land. You know how the oppressor would have done something like that? Give land to some people so that some people can look, you know, like things are going to them more than some.
Right.
And that is the strategy that they use. Because really and truly, the earth does not make, the earth itself don't make any person richer than anybody else, you know. Because even when we as Israelites, him say, if you serve me, I will make you above the other nations. So it's not the earth itself doing that, meaning the earth still would yield to another nation if they plant until the soil don't.
Can.
Yeah, it would still yield to them. Yield for them, I should say. So our being over them is more administrative, you know. We serving God and being over the other nation. It's not like the earth will grow more food to eat than it will grow for them. That's not the case. It's just the way that we think, they might have more energy flowing in our direction. Because the way that they think is to have some people on top and you deliberately force some to be at the bottom. When you do things like that, the one at the bottom must turn against you, you know. No turn against you. And there is no such thing. When the Most High set up his structure, as we had experienced before. Remember, I didn't even set up a king, you know. He didn't give us a king. It's way down in Samuel time when people start to rebel. And say, no, we want a king like the other nation. And him say, you want a king, but you're going sorry, say you beg a king. You beg for a king because I'm going to take away everything that you have.
Right.
Which means he did not want you to lose what you have to any one set of person. But that's how the oppressor sees it. And unfortunately, that is how many of the other nations sees it. So, you know, go ahead, continue, go on.
I said the oppressor him want everything for himself. So because of that, you gotta have others naturally I go poor and in need because I have to gobble up everything for himself. So anybody where happens to so gain something, they gonna monopolize the thing and you gotta have those of them where just now gotta have nothing. And they're not gonna feel no way about that neither. Because them are gonna think same like what survival of the fittest or so them pre things. Them pre like the reason why you're poor are because you're weak.
Yeah, you're not pushing hard enough.
Yeah.
Which in way that when I look at black people in America, I mean, they did push hard, but then they had the Ku Klux Klan and other government systematic racism that pushed them out of the little wealth that they were getting. And then turn around and tell them, say, look at you all you do, you kill each other. Which way you cause them to be doing that? You put them into what they call it? Section 8. You force them into Section 8 housing, telling them that after you take away what they had and they were living in squalor, then you give them the Section 8 housing and say, this is better than living in squalor. It might be better than living in squalor, but there is no plan after the Section 8. So you put them in Section 8. What plan you have now for them to take themselves out of that? None.
Right.
Right? And the Cuban do have a way that they could take themselves out of, they did take themselves out of the poverty that they were in. But there now you have the oppressor now, you know, put them right back in it.
Yeah. So like, yeah. Even with the embargo, like what you mentioned, where even to this day, them have the car them from back in the 40s and them thing there, with them constantly, I think they refurbish to keep them You know what I mean? Cubans, them did survive, you know, with the little where them have, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? They must survive the old things them from over 70, 80 years ago. They maintain it. How is that even possible? I say, you know, them are God children, them, you know. Some things, me would assume, say, iron would have rust by them time there. And, you know what I mean, disappeared. See? They maintain the same old vehicle them from them time and the old thing them with them been have. Just to continue a civilization.
Right.
Donald, you know what I mean? Donald Trump, that violent rapist, you know what I mean? When many of our people like to look on him and talk, oh, him outspoken is a devil. See? Here comes him now, want to set them back another 100 years. America don't set them back 100 years, you know. And them still continue, they maintain themselves and survive with the liquor with them have. And here comes this damn devil, this orange pig. See? Come to set them back another 100 years. I pray the Most High curse him with a curse never seen before upon the face of this earth. I pray rotten from inside out. You understand? You know what I mean? But guess what go on? Our salvation are coming up. So all of this discard we must sow between Jamaica and Cuba. Film discard are come, film discard between Europe and America. Wait till them start go at odds with each other. Wait till this war kick off the right way. And the nuclear bomb them start drop. You are going to see. And then we are going to know, say, what the ISUPK has been saying for how many years has been the truth. And that's why we implore our people, come in, you know what I mean, boots on the ground, get inside these classes. Because guess what, go on, time now going to get no prettier, you know. Things are going to get worse before it get better. That's what we need to know. So you see how this war, I don't expect it. Slack.
And that is what the Bible talk about Jacob's trouble.
Can.
Well, I think the time of the reconstruction did worse than now still, you know. They come physically come up. You read stories of blacks who were making good strides all in Alabama. They have them land and sitting and dead man does company and say, why have to sell me land, you know? I said, you can't sell me land. I live off and what they do? Kill the man. And no member of the family couldn't come forward and say them supposed to inherit the land. And the same man them who did want it and get it for free. The court uphold for them the ownership over the land. And you talk about some 40, 50 or more acres of land with them take from one person, because them strides they were doing good with them without government support, doing them farming and things. And what they do, just like from the time of from in the womb,
right?
Esau, Jacob. That I can't put it at no other place back further than that. And I can't put it anywhere because the wrestling was from that time. Imagine if we were the kind of people now who, as them come up with something, so we go and take it away. But that's hard for them because they believe that they believe that a nuclear bomb will stop them from the revenge against them. And the thing is, every nation, including their own people, want revenge against them. That's how I feel.
Right.
You think you see them uppers, some of the poor person, people have no want to revenge against them, same one too.
Gone.
Everybody wants a little piece of him.
So like, yes, sir. Donald Trump, I make it more, you know what I mean? Make it worse for America because I know he might threaten him allies them. He might threaten Britain. He might threaten Spain. Spain said, them now make America use them territory to launch no strike upon Iran. And Donald Trump said, all right, we'll cut off Spain. You know what I mean?
I will go lick them with embargo.
Yeah. So them thing away him a do, him no know, you know, Donald Trump is a blasted idiot, you know. Him no know say them words mean something, you know. Them talk away him a make, I gonna make him allies them drift more and more from him, and that I gonna make America vulnerable. Because him thinks say boy, him are the one we are protected, but them are protect him too. Them are protect him too, you know. But when them draw with a defense there, America are gonna live vulnerable. You understand? That way no know, slap you.
It look like him don't know that because when you read the scripture, you get the impression like it's everybody who have any missile just send it at him.
Yeah, like everybody are gonna just join in and just lick them. Just get fed up and just start whip them with, you know what I mean? With everything.
Even them friends.
Even them friend. So look, yeah.
Now when you read in the scriptures, I mean we can go to it, Jeremiah 50. Right? We go to Jeremiah 50. And we read. And you can know that it's not talking about the first fall of the Babylon. Back then. You have it, Officer Arayala.
50 verse, which verse are the one?
Start from 1, man. Start from verse 1.
Can.
You're so low, Officer Arayala.
So like him phone a ring.
Oh, your phone a ring.
Alright, you get messed up there a little while, just know.
You good you know?
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 50, verse 1. The word that the Lord spake against Babylon and against the land of the Chaldeans by Jeremiah the prophet.
Right, go on.
Declare ye among the nations, and publish, and set up a standard, publish and conceal not. Say Babylon is taken, Bel is confounded, Merodach is broken in pieces, her idols are confounded, her images are broken in pieces.
Alright, what the word confounded mean? You would have mean in the Officer Arayala.
Okay.
What do you mean by confounded?
So 1 second. Confounded, use for emphasis, especially to express anger or annoyance.
Alright, what else? Any other meaning?
Cause surprise or confusion in someone, especially by not according with their expectation.
Alright, so that is the confounded where in other words. Alright. It's like them in Iran now. And then they want regime change and things going on good. You have a 15 out of 10, from 0 to 10, how you rate it. I would give a 15. Remember them publishing that statement with Trump made?
Yeah,
Right. But after a while now, you see everything come down to naught and things start get beaten and things. What him going to say? You answer them. Be confounded. Right? Meaning you don't have nothing to say. Now the Most High, when it comes to that word now, the Most High said, Israel will not be confounded. In other words, the things that we are saying, it won't come to the time when people are going to look at me and say, so how did say this is going to happen and that is going to happen? You understand? That time won't come. But the time is going to come when the things that they are looking for and talking about won't come to pass and the total opposite happen. And they will not have an explanation for it. All right? And it said, declare ye among the nations and publish, set up a standard, publish, conceal not. Meaning, what is going to happen to Babylon, which is why the Bible is in every nation. The most I don't want you to hide it. Because at the end of the day, they can't say they didn't know. You understand? At the end of the day, they can't say, but we didn't know that them people was Israelites. Oh, really? You knew. You were the ones who take away their identity. You are the ones who is wearing their identity.
Right.
Right? So, can you imagine now, them down there now, look up Iran and Syria and Lebanon and fighting for the Holy Land. And then groups now, them chariots coming. Because that is always going to happen. They are going to go on and so till Israel reaches state them actually fighting for his own existence. They might have bombed a whole heap of place in Iran, but Iran can take way more bomb than what they can take, you know. Right? They can't take no whole bomb. So them going to reach a stage. As a matter of fact, Iran dropped a bomb the other day and wipe out one whole intelligence arm that was supposed to meet to have some kind of discussion. And this is the surprise that they get now. They did not announce the venue of the meeting until the morning of the meeting. So they didn't tell those who were going to meet, they didn't say, all right, 3 days time we're going to meet at X place. No. They wait till the morning of the meeting, then tell them one another where to meet. And they went to a synagogue and went in the basement of the synagogue, the bunker. And a missile find them under there from Iran. So Iran is showing them the real-time surveillance that we had on them. Right? So when these things happen to them now, they might not come out, they're not going to come out front yet and say it, you know. But they know that they are not the people of the land.
Right.
And Iran know, because Iran is where Persia was. And they probably still have those historical records from Cyrus' time. Still have it, so they know who they gave liberty to. Right? So they are the ones who will be confounded, not us. And this is why their idols, Bel and Merodach, that is who they serve. And who is the big one in Babylon now? Christianity. So they call it Christianity, but it's still Bel and Merodach. That is why all the evil organizations in America are Christians. The KKK, they were Christians. The CIA, they are Christians. CIA, FBI, they call it, they have a branch of them church out there, they call them Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, something like that. And church are full of CIA. Right here.
Yeah, and then we always see a walking appears on the road.
And yet still, what are they? Christians. You know who else is Christian? The very same people that is out here. As a matter of fact, a lot of them in Cuba are Catholics.
Yeah,
I've never seen the West join with any other nation here and say, you know, we are both Christian nation. No, because who they really serve is Bel and Murder. Let us change the name.
Oh God, I still like sir, if I may.
Mhm.
Even with the Epstein thing and thing we are going around now, you hear people say, see it in a secret, them worship Satan. What them not understand is the heights of Satanism is Christianity. All of them are Christian. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Everybody where you see a grape children and eat baby and all them things, they are Christian them. It looks satanic to you, but that is what Christianity is. You understand?
Bel and Murder is only when you come in the truth, then the most I make the mask come off so that you can really see what is happening. But the man out there in the world, the mask is on him, he don't have a clue.
God.
Why is it that you are the one who's always jumping up in the church and shouting, Lord this, Lord that, Christian this, Christian that, and at the same time, the very bigger nations, them who are Christian nations, that squeeze the hell out of you?
God.
Why is it? Because they serve Bel and Murder.
Right.
Next verse. Verse 3. All right, Alan.
God won't answer. For out of the north there cometh up a nation against her, which shall make her land desolate, and none shall dwell therein. They shall remove, they shall depart, both man and beast.
Right. So, you know, land invasion. Somebody go and be brave enough to test them right there in the land. And when you read on, you realize that this is not really talking so much about the first Babylon. Read on.
God won't come. In those days and in that time, saith the Lord, the children of Israel shall come, they and the children of Judah together, again, Salakia, going and weeping, they shall go and seek the Lord their God.
So if you remember, after the Babylonian captivity came who? The Media and the Persia, Media-Persia, right?
God.
Babylon fell, Media-Persia came. So we did not get freedom under Babylon. The freedom came under Media-Persia. But what happened when Media-Persia came now? Yes, Cyrus came and Cyrus granted liberty to the Jews, all Jews. But was it Judah and Israel that both went back to the land?
Yeah.
Right. Judah went back to the land. Of course, some of the northern kingdom people joined with them, but the kingdom was still Judah. And Israel, who was the larger portion, the other 10 tribes, where did they go?
They came to the land of Ashtoreth, which is over here.
They went to Ashtoreth, right. And if you look in second Esdras again, 13 and 43 or 42. You can't find it?
Israel's what? Salakia, say that again, Israel's.
Hold on to what you have, Officer Aragan.
Salakia,
I'm in second Esdras already, sir.
You're in second Esdras already? Check 13 and 42 or 43.
45 of the word asterisk in it.
Okay, so then it starts from 43, but read from about 43.
Yeah.
God Khan, the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 13, verse 43. And they entered into Euphrates by the narrow passages of the river.
All right, hold on. Go back up to 42.
God Khan, verse 42. That they might there keep their statutes, which they never kept in their own land.
All right, go up to 41.
God Khan. But they took this counsel among them, Salakia, but they took this counsel among themselves, that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country,
all right,
where never mankind dwelt.
Hold on. Give me 40, I'm going to say 40, tell you who it is that took this counsel among themselves.
Khan, verse 40. Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Uzziah the king, whom Salmanassar, the king of Assyria, led away captive, and he carried them over the waters, and so came they into the land, into another land. Salakia.
All right, so read the first part of 40 again.
Khan. Those are the 10 tribes.
Those are the 10 tribes. So that is the Israel that is mentioned here. So if we go back to Jeremiah 50, verse, where were again? Verse 4.
Khan. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 50, verse 4. In those days and in that time, saith the Lord, the children of Israel shall come, they and the children of Judah together, going and weeping. They shall go and seek the Lord their God.
Right. So go back to 2nd Ezra now and read verse 44.
Khan. The book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 13, verse 44. For the Most High then shewed signs for them, and held still the flood, till they were passed over.
All right, until they were in ships. 45 now.
Khan. For through the country there was a great way to go, namely of a year and a half. And the same region is called Azareth.
So they went to Azareth. The 10 tribes went to Azareth. And here it is telling you that Judah and Israel come together. So this is not talking about the first fall of Babylon. It's talking about another time when Babylon should fall. Right? So come back to Jeremiah now. And why the church don't have that, can't do what we just do, is because Bel and Merodach took out the Apocrypha. They are the ones in the church. Call it evangelical church now, but they were the ones who took out the Apocrypha. So you can't do any and tell about it's not gospel. It's not gospel. It's just like they want you now to forget about slavery. Couple years from now, you think you're going to, if they have their way, that Department of War have its way in this world, our grandchildren and great-grandchildren will know nothing about slavery. It won't be in the books. Just like how we never did know about the time of the Reconstruction. And that is so many things black people do. We didn't know. After you start dig up the records now, then you see them. Right? They then do the same thing. Take out the Apocrypha, which is a part of our history. They took it out. All right, so verse 5.
Cardamom Khan. They shall ask the way to Zion with their faces thitherward, saying, Come, and let us join ourselves to the Lord in a perpetual covenant that shall not be forgotten.
All right. But this time, when that freedom comes, we shall look and say, you know what? Away with them idols. None of them has helped us. You look at any one of the religions in this world. We have Israelites that are Hindu, Muslim, and by Israelites we're talking about some. I was watching a video the other day with somebody there, but being that Israel is a spiritual thing. No. Israel was the name of a man, and his children was called Israelites. So, and that's not spiritual. It's the seed of a man that are the Israelites. All right. So, you know, coming out of the captivity this time, they are going to look and say, none of these nations that we have joined ourselves with has ever stood up for us. It don't make sense to go and bother ourselves with them. It's best if we just stick to God.
That's right.
So, in other words, it will be like a wake-up call. All right, read on.
Cardamom Khan. My people have been lost sheep. Their shepherds have caused them to go astray. They have turned them away on the mountains. They have gone from mountain to hill. They have forgotten their resting place.
My people have been asleep. Their shepherds have caused them to go astray. They have turned them away from the mountains. When we had our own government, it was our own government who joined with these nations, just like how you see the Venezuelan government right now. Say, boy, we heal. And you see the Cuban government now about to heal, about to give up. It was the same way, because when I read Maccabees 1, back in the Apocrypha again, if you go to Maccabees chapter 1, first Maccabees 1, I don't remember which one the verse though. It tells you how we made that decision to leave our laws and our ways and follow the heathens, because since we have departed from the heathen, we have had much sorrow. And what is the sorrow? You can't be a pedophile, you can't be a rapist, you can't be a woman, you can't be a reveler, meaning you can't have no bacchanal where you march up and down on the street half naked. So they are not able to do those things, so they think it is sorrowful. Right? But this time that the scripture is speaking about will be a wake-up call when we shall look and say, it don't make sense we go amongst the nation, because even said the most I just leave you alone and leave you to their mercy. They have no love. No love is among them, is in them for you. Right? And even in the churches, where you have the mixed nation in the churches, it don't work. It never work. You never see no black pastor around the white churches.
Right.
But you have churches, what do they call black churches, with white pastors in them. Because all the so-called black churches were started by white men. It started by the oppressor. Still bell and murder. steal, belt, and murder. Right? And when it comes to those in the army and the police and the soldiers out here, are Christian them too, no?
Gone.
And the same man where them are killed on the street side and thing. A lot of them grow up in church too.
Christian them too. When them,
Yeah.
them have any
They
farm,
have Christian beliefs.
Christianity them put.
Select you, sir, for me. A permission to stand down, sir. I have slavery.
All right, no sweat.
God don't cancel. THAWADAH. Shalom. Yahbashim Yashai Brakatam.
All right. So, it's going to close off. But you have this scripture, Kyra.
Hold on, sir. We never pull it up.
Jeremiah 50.
Oh, you mean the one where Officer Area Alida read?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, may have it pull up. It's up on the screen too.
50 verse, all right, verse 7 now.
Can.
You have any other one to drop in?
Just one. Revelations 14 and 8.
14 and 8 deal with what again?
Babylon is falling.
All right, we can close with that. Jeremiah 50 tell you about Babylon too. All right, read verse 7.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 50 and verse 7. All that found them have devoured them, and their adversaries said, we offend not, because they have sinned against the Lord, the habitation of justice, even the Lord, the hope of their fathers.
All right. When say we have what? We have offend not. In other words, hey, police shoot you in the street. Hey, don't blame the cops. It's you cause it.
God.
If you notice what is happening to us, we are being blamed for all the bad things that happen to us. When we work hard to let the good things happen to us, it's either downplayed or they find a way to annul it. But when the bad things happen to us, it's your fault. When the time with George Floyd, don't they find a way to say him wrong?
God.
They found a way to find ways to say George Floyd wrong. Way back in the Mississippi, Alabama time, when they talk about George Stenny, the little boy who they been kill and throw in a river, who the white one say whistle at him, at her. I mean, weren't they saying at the time that is him wrong?
God.
When they come and take away black, we have many blacks who work and purchase land after slavery, and they find way to take it back. So they say it's them wrong. We offend not. You are the one who went and sinned against the Lord. Right? This is what is happening in Babylon, and that is because of murder. In other words, the idols that they serve. Come again.
God, verse 8. Remove out of the midst of Babylon, and go forth out of the land of the Chaldeans, and be as the goats before the flocks.
The he-goats.
It's like the he-goats before the flocks.
So, who is in a flock of goat? Who are the leaders in that flock of goat? The he-goat, not the she-goat.
God.
You notice in America Congress and in America politics, you see black women not fucking it.
God.
Have the most talk and thing. Where are the black men? That's because they throw their money behind the black women to give them the seat so that they can come to rule over us. And as long as they are there ruling over us, we shall never leave Babylon. It's the egos that will have to lead us forth, the men. And there's one place to find that. You have to come to the ISUPK and the commanding general, YAHANNA, so that
right.
men can lead you out of this oppressive, sinful, gay system that you are in.
Right.
The women then can't lead you out. The women then going to be conformist. Yeah. They are going to be conformists. They're going to tell you, well, nothing wrong if you pretend to be like a gay so that you can put some money on it, some food on the table. You have to feed me too. Nah. You will. The Most I will provide for you. You hold fast onto what is right. Just remember what Christ said. Don't gain the world and lose your soul.
That's right.
Like Epstein and Trump.
Right.
The only reason why Trump take on this war that he may find himself in now is because they have there's more file there to release.
They have dirt on him.
Hello. Not no dirt. Dirt I will catch your shoes. Donald Trump have him under a mudslide.
Gun.
You know, like the landslide that happened during Melissa the other day, the over landslide.
Gun.
That is what Trump is under. You're under some landslide there. Under thick mountains of dirt. Look on the other one that will come out, The one that came out, maybe that him realized that was what was coming out, which is why him start the war so fast. With the 13-year-old girl. I mean, she's a big woman now. But the molest are at 13.
Gun.
And there are more.
So like yes, sir. You know what I mean? Them a say like the Israelis, them a use the Epstein file to kind of get him to do them bidding, because guess what go on? Them have a whole heap of different accusation against him, So that one never come out about the 13-year-old girl. The way me I understand it, that are the least, meaning it terrible as it is, but so much more things that upon Trump that would have look like, you know what I mean, and or nothing. So them use that now for twist him arm, to get him to fight the war. Because him never willing to fight the war, Him never want to fight the war because he know the implication of the war and where it might cause. But the Israelis, the war for them best interest, so you know what I mean?
But that was the purpose of the Epstein trial in the first place.
Yeah, because who else have access to them thing there and the media for bring out them thing there? You know what I mean? And for
now only that. Who tell me I'm second person in the world who make such records of every single communication that they have with everybody?
Gun.
Who else in the world do anything like that? And then people are going to say, he was not a spy. Unless they have another word for it. Big spy that. I can't even remember who we communicate with the last in 3 weeks ago. I can't remember that. I mean, my phone would remember that, but not in my mind. I don't have any records for that.
Right.
And him all the picture now and all these records are there.
And him have whole heap more records too.
And watch this.
Probably
when you have your email, after a while, email and tell us I full, I have to delete. Delete email.
Him store for him thing there.
And they have billions store up.
Gone. millions of files. We hear millions in it, you know, a whole heap of memory that, you know.
And it's not even important. I mean, some of the conversations are not even conversation where worth looking you and your personal down the ranks, right? Some of the conversations are not where you don't really need to keep unless you're keeping it for some blackmailing purpose or something.
Right.
I mean, many times you're in some organization and you leave the organization, the communication, them start, you know, become unimportant. As a matter of fact, just government taxation, they give you 6 or 7 years. After that, you can throw the fines. You're in a business in Jamaica here after 6 or 7 years. The government's all right. We're not interested in them fines after them the amount of years. Not so with Epstein.
God.
Which show you there's an ulterior motive. All right, we want to go through them scripture before we want to crack up by 5:30. Yeah.
If I may, you know what I mean? Another thing about them file, yeah, like them file cannot circulate on the internet, and you know what I mean? The media would have disclaimed them, say, you know, yeah, them they're like Pizzagate. You know what I mean? Pizzagate.
Yeah.
It's a popular conspiracy theory we're out there right now. We say them call children pizza. The media disclaim that. See? So only one group of people can release a file and have the media substantiate the file. That is the fake Joe who controls the media.
Right.
If information come out and the media say, boy, yeah, we now look upon that. That information there would just come like a conspiracy. But who get to decide say the Epstein file is important? You see what I say? Because only conspiracy out there, you know, you have worse a conspiracy out there than the Epstein file, you know. If you pay attention to the internet, you know, are some terrible thing Donald Trump do, you know. You understand? But who gets to decide, you know what I mean, what is facts and what is a conspiracy? That's the Jewish man.
Well, if you remember, one of the correspondents, Epstein himself looked like him afraid of Donald Trump.
Donald Trump and boss, Donald Trump bigger than him.
Him not afraid of the Prince Andrew and them other man. But Trump look like he's a man who shot him and not come out of it.
Trump more terrible than
him
today.
Which is why now we see why from a couple of years ago the Jewish community was, you know, hey Donald pushing him towards politics.
Yeah, that's why them still
because they know the dirt what them have. And so this man I can get with in that war, that final war now, that one against Iran.
Yeah.
But if they think Iraq was a quagmire, I mean, Iran is worse.
Right. Them select the man with them no have no moral compass. Zero. Like the most, what I call it now, immoral man on the face of the earth, and that is Donald Trump. You know what I mean? Many people don't know that if you listen to Donald Trump talk, you don't say this man is almost like him now have a soul. Them man and regard people and people suffering and all them things. That are Donald Trump.
But he's a Christian.
You know what I mean? Them ask him, you know, sir. Them ask him, you think you're going to go to heaven? He said, no.
What him say?
He said, no. He said, see if I can find the tape on them there. He said, no think him a go to heaven. Because and then know the crimes them when him commit. And me say, the conspiracy theories out there upon him make the Epstein file look like a joke. Like them just trickle out this Epstein file as this, you know what I mean? This facts that can be disputed. But you see the real information them out there about Donald Trump and all of them people, yeah, would have make this place a dark place in the minds of our people, man, if them didn't know. You know what I mean?
Well, I think the right man to lead them in World War III. Because rather than just come forth and say, I was a pedophile, pray for me. You see, never pray for him in I overlapping so there.
I pray for him. I pray.
White people don't say, wait, when you not even have a sense, put one little black man in there, make it look like it's a national thing.
God, him know him crowd, him know who him want around him. him not, you know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Bell and murder, man. Straight idolatry to the right round it. But all right, man, to lead them in a World War III. He would rather go in a bunker, go and hide, rather than come clean and tell the nation, say, you know, I did certain things in the past, you know, they're using it to pressure me. I'll resign.
Rather the world burn.
Rather the world burn, man.
Make it burn.
Well, that is what we're reading about. That's what this whole thing here is about, you know, fall of Babylon. A clean man would make it fall. All right, give me verse 9. Then we can go to King there and over 9 to about 13.
Jeremiah 50 and verse 9. For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her. For thence she shall be taken. Their arrows shall be as if a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain.
And you know, the arrows that's Jeremiah talk about, it's just a weapon of war. They used to use arrow and spear, and you just have this one with them draw back one with the fireball in it and you fly. That would be like a missile. But now the arrows straight missile. The arrows that is going to come up against Babylon is straight missile. So, you know, he is proud, you know. You can't see the proudness in him, you know. You know, if you want to come up against the greatest nation and the greatest military, that's his demise. That is to their demise. But the scripture is telling you that the Most High God send men against him.
Right.
And that is what? That is right in World War II. So nation are going to come up against him. But, I mean, ultimately, Christ is going to take over. Read on.
Verse 10. And Chaldea shall be a spoil. All that spoil earth shall be satisfied, saith the Lord.
You know, remember all that spoil. You know, the spoil now is rape. Raiding. There are so many things that you can gain. You remember, like in St. Elizabeth, when the hurricane mashed up Black River, and people went in and took spoils and salvaged what they can salvage from the hurricane, after the hurricane. Well, it's the same thing with Babylon. All who come up against her shall be satisfied. All that spoil her shall be satisfied, saith the Lord. Right? And you can find that same thing in Revelation 17 too. So, the Most High is going to send nation against it. Chaldea, I talk about Chaldea. The Chaldeans, them would have been like the brain box Chaldea was a place where, you know, like the star readers, the scientists,
Okay, the astrologers.
right, astrologers, the scientists, the learned ones. That was Chaldea. Chaldea was not a place like the other nation. It was you know, like the learned one. You know, like how you have, when you talk about Greek, the ancient Greeks, you talk about philosophers and this and that. Yeah, man, that was Chaldea. So America is the same thing. Chaldea shall be a spoil. Go on.
Verse 11. Because ye were glad, because ye rejoice, O ye destroyers of mine heritage, because ye are grown fat as the heifer at grass, and below
Bellow.
as
Bellow,
a bull.
bellow. Bellow as a bull. No. So the cow say move. Bible says it's a bellow. Belly fat, man. Of course, them rich now, ain't it? They don't see this that is hanging over them as any big thing, you know. No, man. We'll find a way to get around that debt. Sure, they're going to find a way to get over it, to get over it, yes. All right, like it's that time again. All right, where are we now? Verse what?
Verse 12.
All right, we 12, I would say 13, and then we jump into Revelation and closer.
Jeremiah 50 and 12. Your mother shall be sore confounded. She that bare you shall be ashamed. Behold, the hindermost of the nations shall be a wilderness, a dry land, and a desert.
Yeah, man. Everybody going to feel it. All of who link with him going to feel it. Who gave birth to America? Who's America's mother?
Rome, England, all of them.
Great Britain, man.
Britain, yeah.
Great Britain. And right now, them feel ashamed because they want to join them in another war.
Yeah, them shame now, because they must say, oh.
That's the Bible go wrong.
God.
Remember, you know, they pull out from them before they even start the war, you know.
Yeah.
They pull away and say, what do you say again? Something where they talk about, no, in a really good way there.
No, them not have no, what you call it, no. Them not take no part, or they have not taken any part in the strikes of Iran.
Yes, Iran. But I think before they even strike Iran, Britain take time and pull away from them and say they're not sharing any intelligence again. No, I think they must pull it from Israel. Because they realize that them sharing intelligence with them and them using it for something else. All right. What would they know? 13.
Come. Verse 13. Because of the wrath of the Lord, it shall not be inhabited, but it shall be wholly desolate. Everyone that goeth by Babylon shall be astonished and hiss at all her plagues.
Right. She did rejoice when we were being destroyed.
Right.
And they partake in our destruction. So you see, what all the other nations do against we, I am going to pay the ultimate price. All right, give me the revelation that you're holding now.
Gun. Revelation chapter 14 and 8. And there followed another angel, saying, Babylon is falling, that great city, because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication.
Fornication is unlawful sex.
Right.
So we're talking bigger than Epstein file, you know. Right? All the things that they have done against the Most High people as a fornication against the Lord. So the fornication here, you know, like idolatry. They talk about God, but do they do anything that is godly really?
Blah.
All their policies.
The opposite.
They don't think about God when they're doing them policies.
Blah.
Yeah. That's what it's talking about. Go on, you finish?
Yeah, that was verse 8, sir.
8? Oh, yeah. She made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. All of them nations in the Middle East who enjoy good money with America. See, you're gonna lick them up. All of them. All who invite him down there and make him feel comfortable down there to come and spy and drop bomb on Iran. Iran start blow. And the thing is, all Iran is doing down there really is to kick Western, is to just knock Western interest down there and the Western military base. So these nations now are now realizing that, wait, America can protect we.
Right.
Saudi Arabia. I hear them secret, they are planning to let go the petrodollar because there's no protection from America for them. So, you know,
strike. One of them should strike Iran too.
So they don't even know what is happening there. The more them try that they are deceived them and make them go down there. I mean, they can always pull back, you know, but it going to come up again and come up worse. Just like how they pulled back in last year. And so this time it's worse. Or maybe Iran don't even ease up and put off on the pedal and just continue with them straight. All right, so
like, yeah, as Hezbollah, I see a clad Israel. We should have think Hezbollah was completely destroyed. I don't know where they get that straight from, you know.
After the pager accident there.
Yeah, during that period there. And one of my clad Israel, you know.
Now, how they have so much missile left back same way.
Yeah, man, I flood Israel with missile, you know, man. Where them they did there.
Hamas probably did they waiting until them slap him up real good and then him just going on the ground in there. Almighty Father. Then you know that America can't say him now put no boots on the ground in the Middle East. All right, so you know with that, pass the class over to Prison Officer Kayado.
All right, clap it up. All right, we're going to jump to the security announcements. Where we are, sir?
Yeah, man, the security announcement I will sign on.
All right, these are the ISUPK security announcements, where the ISUPK started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under command in General YAHANNA. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. After 6 months, if a brother or a sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithe, which is a commandment, you can find this in the book of Numbers 18 and 21 and Malachi chapter 3 verse 8 to 10. It means tenth in the Hebrew and it's pronounced Ma'aishara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you'd like. So remember to go over to ISUPK.com and pay your tithes, you understand? Stop paying to those Christian churches. Instead of answers for the things that we are going on in today's time. Meanwhile, the ISUPK do food drive and clothing drive and help blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. And this is done due to the tithes where you pay. So make sure you go and support the ISUPK, the men of the Lord, at ISUPK.com.
We have another one coming up this weekend.
We have another food drive coming up this Saturday. You understand? So stay tuned to that as well. We'll be in what? St. Elizabeth, Black River. I go back at Black River.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, in Black River. So, you know what I mean? Yeah, man, it never stops. So, make sure you pay your tithes. See? All right. So, upcoming Holy Convocation, the next upcoming Holy Convocation is the Passover. You understand? Which is in Houston, Texas, April the 4th. You understand? If you're a Jamaican, if you're Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian, and you can make it to the Passover, you are invited. You understand? The Passover fee is $200. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. So just pay a Passover fee, jump on a plane if you can, and make it to the Passover. All right? Contact us, the number in our profiles for more information. All right? Reminding Akiam and Aquatiam to check on social media such as ISUPK.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for ISUPK events and materials. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, then he needs to start wearing all black, which includes black boots, shirt, pants, headband, or scarf. And with that, we're going to give one courtesy salute to Officer Badawan, men of Israel. I'm Madam. Men of Israel, I'm Madam Shabbat. I'm Madam Barak. Yahweh Basham Yahweh Shai Barakatha. Kanamata. The sisters them present?
No.
All right, with that, class dismissed. All right, sir.
All right, Shalom.
Yeah, man. Shalom. Yahweh Shem Yahweh. All right, so to those watching, you know what I mean, remember to like, follow, subscribe, depending on the platform you're watching on. We're the ISUPK out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, the home of the truth. If you ever heard that blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are the real Jews, the real Israelites, and not the fake Jews over there in Israel, this is where that come from. Get inside these classes and learn the truth, the authentic way. And with that, Shalom.